Oh, all right. I do this every time. I tell you, I got to go through my interview again here. This is Computer Pile Incorporated. We are author interviews. We're here with Tanika Moore with her books that she have wrote, Vanilla Setbacks. And we are so excited to have her on the show today. So let's just go ahead and bring her on. There she is. Hello there, Tanika. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, all right. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
I tell you, your lipstick and your shirt all matching there. That's all right. Well, I'm excited to have you on the show. We met a few weeks ago, and I tell you, this got here really quick. We were saying, man, this interview came really quick.
It did.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and get right started here. Is this your first book?
So Vanilla Setbacks, which is part number 1. This is the first one that I wrote. I wrote this I actually wrote it a few years ago. but I actually published it in 2019.
Okay.
So that's my first one. And then this is Vanilla Setbacks Part 2, the climax. So this is the continuation of Part 1. And I actually published this July of last year.
All right. Okay, well, that's awesome. So, well, you know that every question that every interviewer asks author is what inspired you to write your books?
So I've actually been writing since I was about 10 years old. I was one of those people that could see just a word on a cereal box or
Hmm.
in a newspaper, on TV, and I could just make a short story or I could do a poem. I was always writing something down. I was always a person who said you learn something new every day. So I love just to, write and just explore that. And I actually wrote my first book when I was about maybe like 11 or 12.
Okay.
And it was called Murder Mayhem. It was just something out of my imagination,
Hmm.
looking at too many mafia and crime movies. And I actually let someone read it at school and they never gave it back.
Oh, wow.
So that really hurt me, but I still continued to write. I just didn't let anybody read my work after that.
Well, that's a good thing there. A lot of artists and authors, really have to be careful about their creativity because someone will take that, make a few changes, and say it's there. So,
Right.
so would that experience happen to you early on? So you were a little cautious now of who you give that to.
Exactly. And then you always want to make sure that whatever you write, make sure that you do the copyright. Um, I actually found this out, a fun fact. A lot of people on Amazon and other platforms for publishing do not have copyrights to their work. So they automatically feel like if I write it, it's mine. Yeah, that's
Right.
true. But at the same time, when you write a book, if you don't have that copyright and I was to take something out of your book, you don't have the rights to it.
That's right.
So it wouldn't really be an argument there if I were to do that. Versus if I copyright, and let's say someone like yourself or someone else that I know takes even a saying out of my book
Hmm.
and I see that in your book that you write and I'm not quoted or you don't mention me in some kind of regard, then I am able to, seek legal action. So that was something that I learned from a few people that I know. They don't have copyrights to their work, but I actually have my paperwork that says that I own both my books.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this copyright thing is very interesting to me because
Mhm.
I heard a lot of different stories about how to copyright. Someone says if you just send your work to you in email, that's copyright. I don't know how true that is. So how would you go about copywriting your book? So that's good.
So basically, what I had to do, and I've actually helped a few other people do copyright as well. You go to the copyright's website. Make sure you don't go through a third party, because when you Google, a lot of different search results will come up. So you want to make sure you do go to the copyright office to make sure that you're doing it correctly, because there are a lot of third party companies that will basically do it where they copyright for you and then they get a back end fee.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have someone that I know, and I didn't find out until after I published my second book that they had paid someone over $600 to
Wow.
copyright their work.
Wow.
And their book wasn't that long. It wasn't a long process, but all you do is go to the copyright website, make sure that it's the patent and it's sealed, and it'll show you at the top. It'll have like a flag at the top, red, white, and blue. And you basically go in, you explain what type of work, you're doing. Another key factor that you want to pay attention to, let's just say, for example, that you find somebody to do a cover for you or the back cover, or it's an illustration book, and you don't thank that person or you don't mention them, they could also seek legal action. So my second book that I did, because the first one I did through a publishing company, but my second book I self-published through Amazon. And the person that did my pictures, they actually are mentioned in the title. So they're mentioned, if you look up my book on Amazon, you'll see their name at the top. So that's something you also want to be mindful of as well when you are doing your copyright. So when I did my copywriting, I also put them in the license.
Okay.
So that way nothing comes back, to bite you.
Yeah. Man, that's some good information there, boy. I tell you, man, we are giving you good information today.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
just turning on everything here. So let me ask you a question. So the process of so when you wrote your book, you got it copyrighted. How long did it take for you to get your ISBN number?
So when you get your so when you do the self-publishing through Amazon, you turn around and you get your ISBN number then when you do the publishing. Okay, now we figured out the lag. Sorry.
That's all right. There you go.
I
That's
just took it away. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't see myself.
Yeah, that's much better. It's that virtual background.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I got mine turned on. But yeah, it's much better now because I was like, it was hard because you were like lying out like, okay, well, let's
and I was like seeing myself in the corner. So sorry about that.
No, that's all right. We got it.
When you first publish, you get your ISBN number. And so after you do that, before I even went that far, I basically went in and I went to the copyright, like I said, the website, and you just put the name of your work. Once you do that and you have your manuscript, that's all you need.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So like I said, I learned a lot of different things. And the thing is, a lot of people don't ask questions.
Yes.
Me, I'm very quizzical. So I asked, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? And like I said, I found out just by word of mouth that a lot of people, they do feel like, hey, my work is on, Amazon or Lulu or whatever platform, it's copyrighted. Right. Yes, technically, again, like I said, when you write it, it's yours.
Yes, right.
But if a stranger finds it on the street and it's no license to it,
that's it.
There's your argument. So
there you go.
That's why you want to make sure that you protect your work. Like you protect your phone, you get insurance. So if something happens, you have a backup. So
that's right.
That's something that I've been teaching people because I've been doing consulting since I published my books. So I actually have helped a few people publish their own books. I'm super excited. That's still something that I offer as a service, but you find out a lot, when you really just sit down and really like dive deep. But I'm not afraid to ask questions at all.
That's right.
So if it's something I want to know, but definitely with the copyright thing, because again, so many people, it gets lost in translation. They just feel like it's on there. You can read it. Yeah, I can read it and I can take it. And you don't want that. So you want to let people know, go ahead and take that extra step. And believe it or not, for my book to get copyrighted, the second one, because the copyright went through the publishing company on the first one. But on the second one, it was only about maybe, I want to say about maybe $60 or $70.
Okay.
For the work. So it just really depends on how long it is.
That's
so what happens when you go in to do your file for your copyright, it'll add everything up as far as how long it is, what type of genre it is. Things like that are considered. So once you do it, it's literally not more than maybe 100.
Okay.
So it doesn't cost much. And once you do the copyright, you get the paperwork back in maybe like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And it may be quicker than that. It's just, I did it last year during the height of COVID.
Okay.
So, they were like, well, it may take a little bit longer. I was actually told it was going to take 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
But when it came in like 3 weeks, I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something like if you are going to write something, a poem or anything like that, have any type of literary work, you want to just make sure you have that security behind it. Most definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm asking all these questions, seems like for myself here. So let's say, for example, I have some poems. Is there a length that how do I know when I got a book? Let's say, like if I got some poems, like 12 poems. Is that enough, or do I need to keep writing?
So the way that it works, I know with Amazon, it'll tell you like how long it is.
Okay.
So when you go in to do like your self-publishing, it may give you something to say, well, it's not long enough.
Oh,
It's too short. So it just depends when you upload the file, it'll tell you, it's too short, it's too long, or well, I've never heard it's too long.
Okay.
But too short. I've had a few people tell me I wrote like 15 poems and here it is, and it's like, but they're really short.
Right.
So you have to think about that too, unless you're going to do something where you're going to make the wording, like you're going to make the letters bigger and bolder. Right. But other than that, like that's the biggest thing, because my books are novellas. I call them novellas. It's really a novella. Well, novella. I say novella because I'm a female. Okay. But it's anything. It's a literary work that's under 100 pages.
Okay.
So that was something I found out, wow. When I started writing, and I had my first novel, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. So I call myself Novella Bella.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's one of the hashtags that I use. And so that's how you know. But yeah, my book is considered a novella because it's under 100 pages. So yeah, so it just, like I said, it just really depends. But if you upload it, it gives you a lot of requirements. I mean, I know I've heard a lot of pros and cons of publishing. You hear that with publishing companies, you hear it with self-publishing. It's always going to be a pro and con somewhere. Yeah, I'll say. So I never discredit a publishing company. I would never discredit self-publishing, because like I said, I did it through Amazon, and I think it was one of the best things I could have ever done. Right. It was a simple process. It was free. And like I said, I mean, it really worked for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but through my experience, it's been great. But yeah, I did it through Amazon, and like I said, it'll tell you if it's too short, and if it is, you can just go back and write a little more.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I really like about you is how you say you are helping others. My son, he self-published his books. I think he's up to 4 now. Oh, wow. And he's actually doing what you're doing, helping other people. So, man, I'm super excited. You're like, Dad, when you gonna be ready? Oh, man, I don't know. So let's talk about that. I'm sorry to get you down into the weeds there.
Oh no, you're fun. I love this.
Yeah. So, how did you derive at the title of your book series?
So, without giving too much away,
okay.
If you're a reader like how I am, like you'll know that pretty much what Vanilla Setbacks is talking about, like the struggle. It's like a struggle of something. But I mean, just to kind of give you a little bit of a little caption, Vanilla Setbacks is basically about a caterer. Her name is Tracy. She's married. She has a child. She, in most people's eyes, has the perfect life. The sad part is Tracy's bored and she doesn't know it. So she is a caterer, like she's at a party that she's doing, and she just meets this guy, and she just gets caught up, like, wow. And at the end of the night, it's like, I met this amazing man, and it makes her question everything. So things between her and the gentleman get very interesting. Hence the name.
Hence the name. But, yes. Man, I tell you. So, as you said early on, you was I think you said you were 12-year-old. You wrote your first book, and you gave it to someone that never returned it. So, what did you learn when writing your book? So, I mean, did you learn something about yourself when you wrote the book? Like, I know a lot of people say, hey, I didn't know I had it in me, but I think that's different with you, because you said you wrote early on. So as you wrote this book, you wrote your first book, what did you learn about yourself? And then what propelled you to write the next one?
So Of course, that's everybody's answer. I didn't know I
Yeah.
had it in me,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize how tough of a critic I was on myself.
Okay.
But also, you do have to be tough on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because if you can't take constructive criticism, you'll
Woo.
never grow.
That's true.
So I had to hear things when I would let people read it who I really trusted, and they're like, that could be a little better.
Mm-hmm.
You could have added a little bit more.
Right.
Or I'll give you another example. So it may have been a sentence where I may have said, she walked into the party at 8 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
versus she sauntered into the party, just before the stroke of 10 or whatever the case is, but
Right.
just being a little bit more descriptive. So sometimes when we talk with our hands, but but sometimes we're not descriptive.
That's right.
So just like if you ever heard your child say, or if they may say, well, you told me to go look for something, where is it?
Right.
Okay, so it's on the third shelf on the right side, it's in a blue box. That's how descriptive I had to get, and it was a little frustrating
Yeah.
because I basically had to come out of my shell,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to really say, okay, well, how can I make this more interesting? So that's going to also lead to the book as well, because when people read it, it's like, oh, I had no clue. So for
Mm-hmm.
those of the people who have read it, they've had that aha moment and have called me, and they're like, you did such a good job of hiding it, and
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. So just learning how to know that, like, okay, if I write this, it doesn't have to be the finale.
Right.
Even when I used to write in school, I would write a poem, I would write a letter, to people, incarcerated, my brother, a few other people, and I would reread it 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I sent the letter, I've written it over 3 times.
Mm.
Or if I write a poem, I may like it right then and there because it's fresh on the brain. But
Right.
then later on that night or 2 weeks later, I may say, you know what? I could have been a little bit more descriptive.
Right.
So just getting out of that, and she and he was, but he said, a lot of that, and really replacing it with more complex words. I mean, it was even the point, even when I write now,
Mm-hmm.
where I'll go into the thesaurus,
Okay.
and I'll say, well, what's another word for cuddle?
There
Or
you
what's
go.
another word for happy?
Yeah.
And it's not about, having a college degree or, a PhD or anything like that, or a master's. It's just really like expanding your horizons. I even have a app on my phone. It's called Word of the Day.
Okay.
And I even
Oh,
have
I
it.
love that.
Yes, it's even
Yes.
emailed to me, and I'll use it in a sentence that day. Like, okay,
Yes.
well, let me go back from 2 weeks ago and look at an email, and let's see how I can incorporate that into my work.
Oh man, that's
So not
good.
being afraid to use bigger vocabulary, and not just
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, well, that person, I don't have a college degree, so I can't use that word.
Right.
But really saying, hey, I can use that word. This
Yes.
is something I'm capable of doing. And I didn't just want to just write something with the norm.
Right.
Some books you're like, okay, I've just like movies. Okay, I've seen it. So what's the twist you're going to put behind it?
Exactly.
Because I see the title, I see the synopsis, but what are you going to give me that's going to drive it home?
Right.
And that was one thing I looked at when I wrote part 1. But I actually, and I had a conversation with you previously,
Right.
but I wrote part 1 probably about, I want to say about 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wrote it in 2 months.
Goodness.
Yeah. So I had just had my youngest daughter, Jayla,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote it. And that was, back in the day, I used to write on notebook paper. I
Okay.
did not type.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had just had a baby. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wrote it in 2 months, and I read it, and I'm like, I love it. And
Wow.
so I
Man.
started letting other people read it, and like, where's the rest of it?
Right.
What, you left me hanging, and not in a good way.
Right.
And so that was one thing that was a little disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to put it down. Because again, it was just a project to do that I
Right.
pretty much betted myself I could do it.
Right.
And so I moved, different relationships, things happened to me. And I was going out one night and I was looking for a particular purse. I am a purse fanatic. I have, I'm sure, over 200 purses. But I was in my closet and I was looking for a particular purse. And the book itself, like I said, it was in a notebook. It fell down in front of me and it was open.
Right.
And I was like, so I guess it's time. And I had so many doubts within myself. I'm like, if I put this out, are people gonna like it?
Right.
Are people gonna support it?
Right.
What if it doesn't sell? I had so many what ifs. And I was like, you know what? No more what ifs.
There you
Let's
go.
do it.
There you go.
And so I did a publishing company. I got a good deal, like a really good deal. I did a lot of resale. So I would just order shipments of my books and I would just resell them.
Right.
And one thing I always did with my work, I always kept it on me.
There you go. Got to be ready.
I would have my trunk full of books.
There you go.
I would have bookmarks. I would talk to people and I would say, oh, by the way, I'm an author. This is what I wrote.
That's right.
And I would say, you can find my book on Amazon. You can go on Barnes and Noble. Matter of fact, I have some in the trunk.
There you go.
So I would always keep my word because you are your billboard.
That's right.
So if I say, well, I wrote a book. Okay, well, you have any? Because that's something, the first thing that people ask you.
That's right.
You have any on you? I have to go online?
Yeah.
You don't have any? And you're like, no, I don't have, but I'll have some next week, but you may not see that person next week.
That's right.
But then you've missed that opportunity.
That's it.
And so that's how it was with part one. And I did my book release. There was a lounge. It's not there anymore, but uptown it was called Apostrophe.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so I called them. I'm like, I have to have a book, book release party.
Right.
I reached out to these people, I don't think they still do anything anymore, but I reached out to like Blaze Pizza. I reached out to Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Okay.
I reached out to Harris Teeter. I had someone come and set up a table to sell their jewelry.
All right.
And I got free samples of cake. I had some coupons for free pizza. I reached out to an ice cream shop called Two Scoops.
All right.
They gave me two $25 gift cards. For me just to rent the building for Apostrophe was like maybe $150.
Okay.
It came with a DJ. It was really awesome. So the support was grand.
Right.
Family and friends. And so when I did part two, I started writing it, but I got writer's block.
Okay.
And if you know anybody who's ever had writer's block, we are not pleasant to be around when we have writer's block.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I got to get part two out. And the thing is, what people mess up at is it's more so, it's not a race.
Right.
Finish it on your time. You will have people who say, I've been waiting a year.
Oh, right.
Where's that second book? But make them wait because there are people who do sequels with movies.
That's right.
And they'll wait 10 and 15 years. But I didn't want it to be where you wait that long or you wait a short amount of time and I don't give you what you're looking for or more.
Right.
I've been told by multiple people, I love part one, but part two is my favorite.
Oh, right.
So hearing that response, and that made me feel really good and it made me keep going because I started, I would take pieces of my work that I was working on and I would say, well, here's an excerpt from part two.
Right.
Coming soon, and then I stopped writing in order.
Okay.
Because when you're writing a chapter book, it's like, okay, chapter one, then chapter two. Everything has to flow together. But we all know when you're writing something, it's all going to fall together anyway.
That's right.
So by me doing that, it made it easier and it took away the writer's block.
Okay.
So that really, really, truly helped me when I did that. And so it was like, okay, well, now I'm not writing in order. So now let me go ahead and finish it. Let's go ahead and do some editing. And I really dug deep with editing.
Okay.
Like my editor, her name is Taryn Wack. She is amazing. She's thanked in the book as well.
Okay.
She would call me. She would call me. She would text me. You know, let's work on this, and maybe we should fix this. And I was open to it.
Oh, good.
And that's the biggest thing. You have to be open to it.
That's it.
Because that's where it comes from. That's where the experience and that's where the knowledge comes from. So it's like, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so that's a run-on sentence. So let's cut it and make it 2 sentences.
Yeah.
You know, something, maybe this isn't needed.
Right.
You wrote Otis in part, you know, in sentence 1. So don't turn around in the second sentence and write Otis.
Right.
Maybe put he or replace it with someone else.
Right.
You know, repetition of a name that can be overbearing.
Right.
Even just in the elementary style of writing, you know, James walked to the store, James sat down, James got up. It, you know, so you have to get out of that, because I had a lot of that in my work. Right. And I'm like, this doesn't sound good. I know people will tell me it sounds good, but this isn't good.
Right.
So really just sitting down, and like I said, I'm my toughest critic.
Right.
But like I said, when I wrote part 2, I started putting, you know, information up. I would put excerpts up. Hey, pre-order. You know, I had a lot of people that pre-ordered. They're like, are you going to leave us just with that one piece? Like, where's the rest of it? And so, you know, just doing that. And like I said, having book signings and things. And it can be a little discouraging.
Yeah.
As I told you.
Yeah.
People don't support.
That's it.
You know, that's something that I'm truly battling with.
Right.
Like family and friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, yeah, like you said, we talked about it. You know, your family and friends are, like you say, so you say you're one of the toughest critic. They are some of the toughest critic. But, you know, the key is, you know, reaching outside of your sphere.
Yes.
So you can get a new audience. And that's, you know, that's one of the things I learned with this Amazon thing. You know, I haven't got the support of the family and the friends. Everybody like, hey, you know, we see you on Amazon. I like, well, follow us.
Right.
You know, they're not following. All right, my goodness. If you look at my Facebook following compared to my Amazon, I'm like, what's going on here? And then, you know, you don't want to keep hounding people. And then I talked to one of my mentors here on Amazon. She said, let me tell you something. Forget it. Forget the family. You have to go outside of that. And that's kind of when it really started picking up for me. Yeah. Now, I did have a question for you. Yeah. Were you a good student in English?
Yes.
Okay.
I kept an A in English. Like, I love popcorn reading. And the teacher's like, Miss Watson's like, you can't read anymore. Like, please give somebody else an opportunity to read. Even when I did my senior exit, when I graduated from 12th grade, I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. And I did a thesis on artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow.
And literally, like, the instructors, I want to say my total time that I was up there, mind you, I was about 7 or 8 months pregnant. I was up there for about 1 hour and 30 minutes because they were intrigued. And we weren't supposed to be up there that long.
Right.
But they were like, you're pregnant? And we're just, we can't stop. We just can't stop listening.
Right.
And so it was like, wow, you know, that was really big for me.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, English, straight A.
Oh,
Loved it.
I bet you had a heck of a term paper.
I did.
Oh, man, I tell you. That
all fours.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. Well, I got this. I pulled this off of your Facebook page. I wanted to play it here. Let's see if it works. You're like, oh, look, I done shocked you there. You're like, what is this guy got here? I got this here. Let's see if it plays here.
Everybody, it's Tanika Moore, also known as Everything and More. I have a really huge announcement. Not only can you get book number 1, you can officially get book number 2. That is right. Vanilla Setbacks the Climax is available to order. For those of you who pre-order, I will get with you soon. For those of you who have not ordered yet, message me for details and pricing. Happy reading!
All right. That played. I grabbed that off your Facebook page.
Thank you. Oh, that made my day.
Oh, man. No problem. Well, I wanted to give a book away here.
Okay.
Let's see how many people we have in Amazon.
Okay.
If you're on Amazon, type vanilla. Type vanilla if you're on Amazon. There we go. We got one. Let's see here. We'll give them a few more minutes.
Okay.
And we wanted to give a book away there, so we'll see. So while we're waiting, what was one of the funnest things you wrote found out in your book that was fun to write?
So when you're writing, a lot of you comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw myself in the book. Now
Okay.
the book isn't about me,
Right.
but by me being the writer, it comes out. You know, I didn't realize how funny I was. I didn't. So a lot of things are like I didn't realize how like suspenseful I was either. Like
Mm-hmm.
with like kind of like the build up. So I found out those things and it was really, really exciting. Like people were like pointing out things to me that I didn't really think about, even being the author. They're like,
Right.
wow, did you really think about that when I went back to this page? And a lot of people that I talk to,
Mm-hmm.
I've had people say, I was making breakfast and I almost burnt my breakfast. I was
Uh-oh.
almost late for work reading your book. My manager, for my job, she was a big supporter. And she still is. She's waiting on part 3. But she was like, listen, I woke up, you know, I got dressed and everything like that. She's like, then later, you know, I worked later on that night. I sat down with your book because she's in Illinois.
Okay.
And she was like, I sat down with your book, and she was like, I did not go to bed until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
I had one person that told me it took her 2 hours to read it.
Goodness.
They were like, you know, listen, I read it again. I've had people say they've read the book 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
So those are like, that's big for me. And that's one thing that also keeps me going, you know, despite the people who don't support, my number one supporters, you know. So that's the thing I would say has been fun and exciting for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you said your coworker is waiting for book 3. That was my next question. How soon is that in the works, and is it going to be a part of the series, or is it going to be a new one?
So I've been working on 2 different things. So with part 3, I have started. So it's in the making.
Okay.
Part 3 is actually called Vanilla Setbacks Denouement, which denouement means the like finale or final. So that's going to be the closing of Vanilla Setbacks.
Okay.
But I'm also working on another literary work. So it's going to be like a book of short stories and poems.
Okay.
And it's called Bare.
Okay.
Bare. And I'm going to pretty much bare my soul.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you about, I have a chapter about working from home.
Okay. Oh man, we all need that right about now.
I mean, you know, because it was something that weighed on me because I work from home. And, you know, seeing 4 walls, it can be a lot sometimes. Some people that I know don't like working from home. Me personally, I love it.
Same here.
I love it. I love having the freedom. I'm a pretty loud person, so I can be as loud as I want to.
There you go.
You know, it can be taxing on you. You know, when you hear people say, you don't have a real job, you sit on your butt all day, you should be happier when we call. People don't know what we deal with personally.
That's right.
Emotionally, I deal with death. I deal with pension, 401k.
Wow.
You know, I sometimes have to tell people, you didn't enroll on time, so you don't have any coverage.
Oh, wow.
You know, people are on their hospital bed and they're dying. And you have people that call in and say, my mom just passed away. My dad just passed away. And we're trying to figure out how much life insurance they have. And I have to tell them they don't have any.
Gracious.
Or they don't have a will. And so we're having to figure out what we can do with the court.
Right.
And now you have to spend extra money to go to the court to get an estate because this person didn't have any beneficiaries.
Right.
You know, dealing with people that are sick, like I said, they don't have insurance. We can't get any exceptions. Dealing with people who are about to lose their homes.
Yeah.
Woo. And they don't have the documentation that they need to get the money out of their account. People who sign up for 401k and things like that and don't read the fine print.
Yes.
They feel like they can just take their money out whenever. That's something that weighs on you. So it's not more so physical exhaustion, it's mental.
Yes.
And that can be worse. When I get off, I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. Like,
Exactly.
that's the last thing.
I know
That's
that's
the
right.
last thing. I've been a counselor all day. So I don't really, I'm not too quick to get on the phone, but I don't like when people discredit people that work from home,
Right.
because we do wear a lot of hats, and like I said, we have to talk to people, and people can be mean and nasty to us, and we still have to suck it up. And I know it's not personal, but
Right.
sometimes you can't just not take it personal, because that person is yelling at you,
Right.
and I'm a person, I deal with anxiety.
Right.
And so sometimes I have to step away and
Right.
take those days to recharge and, really get myself together. But yeah, like I have a short story about that. I have a short story about healing,
Right.
about being a better you.
Oh man, that's gonna be
You
good.
saying, it's okay to not be okay, but
That's
don't
right.
stay there.
That's right.
Like, you can have your moments of pity and self-doubt, but don't stay there. 2 weeks
That's
later, I
right.
shouldn't keep hearing you say, I'm depressed, nothing's going good for me. First off, you're breathing.
That's right.
And you're breathing on your own. You may not have the best job, but you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You have your kids, you have life, health, and strength. So those are the little things that you should be appreciative of. So I'm talking about that. I'm talking about some things I've been dealing with within me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of experience from other people, that I've talked to. So it's a book where I feel like you'll get to know me.
Okay.
You'll see a softer side of me too.
Okay.
Because I have that wall up, but I almost cried when you just showed me the video.
Oh
And
wow.
it's me. So
Right.
I mean, it's gonna, if you don't know me, now, you'll definitely really know me when that comes out. So I don't know if I want to do Bear first
Mm-hmm.
and then do part 3. I'm still debating about it. But
Okay.
I'm currently working on both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now tell me about your cover of your book. How did you choose that as a cover?
Okay, so with part 1, um, which is pretty much like a vanilla flower. So this is more so sentimental, and that's why I said it's gonna tie to the book. So you have to read the book
Right.
so you'll get it. But it's about, like I said, setbacks, hardships. So that's where the barbed wire comes from.
Okay.
Just things you're facing, battles, hardships, some emotions, physically, mentally. That's pretty much where it resonated from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like it. I mean, it's
Thank
really
you.
nice and clear and crisp. So
Thank
I mean,
you.
I really like the title.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
what things would like your listeners to know about um about you like what would you want your legacy to be? If you could say, "Hey, this is what I want to be known for."
That's a good question. Someone who made a difference. Someone who did, something that some people told me I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't write a book. You can't speak in public. What makes you think you can write a book? I've had naysayers, and
Yes.
I'm so thankful, that when you Google me, it's not a mugshot.
There you go.
That I can leave that legacy with my children, and they can say, when I pass on, my mother was an author.
There you
She
go.
wrote some amazing books. I have my favorite author is James Patterson.
Okay.
He is my all-time favorite. He has some really good books,
Mm-hmm.
but I love his work, and they've actually turned a few of his books into movies.
Okay.
So like Alone Came a Spider, Kiss the Girls, Tyler Perry. He was in it. It was called Alex Cross. So
Okay.
all of those installments are from his novels. But he writes, he does publishing with other people. He
Hmm.
wrote a book with Bill. He's a really, phenomenal person, but I pray and I know I hope to become a best-selling author.
There
Like
you go.
I want to become a full-time author.
Okay.
God willing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're on the path to getting there. So, man, so this was good.
Yeah.
So I didn't see, we only had one person type vanilla. So we're going to try to get that book out to that person.
Okay.
So that was Noodles. Noodles, make sure you send us an email to live@computerpile.shop. I'll put it on the screen here. Let's see here. I got it here. There we go. Make sure you send that to us. Oh, I just disappeared. Oh, my goodness here. There we go. Send that to us, Noodles. And he just put, yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Tanika, I know it's a Friday. I'm not going to hold you much longer. I'm going to give you the last words that you can say to help people buy your book. Before you do that, though, I'm going to play that video one more time, and then I'll let you get your speech ready on what you want to say. Here we go.
Okay. It's Tanika Moore, also known as Everything and More. I have a really huge announcement. Not only can you get book number 1, you can officially get book number 2. That is right, Vanilla Setbacks the Climax is available to order. For those of you who pre-order, I will get with you soon. For those of you who have not ordered yet, message me for details and pricing. Happy reading!
There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to give you center stage. You have the last word.
Okay.
Sell yourself, sell your book. I'm just telling you, for those people on Amazon right now, buy this book. We're giving away one to Noodles, but make sure you click on the carousel at the bottom and buy this book. Support this author. You're going to love the book, and we're going to look for more things to come from her. Yes. And Tanika Moore, it's your stage.
All right. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. So this again is part number 1. And this is part number 2. So you can get these books on Amazon, but I'm also doing something where if you order through me, you get a bundle book deal. And then I also have these beautiful laminated bookmarks. They are laminated. They are laminated.
I like that.
They are two-sided. So I have these. It actually also has my barcode on them as well. So that'll link it to like my Instagram. I have this one as well. So you get to choose. So this one has my picture on it.
All right.
And then on the back of it, read more of what you love. And if you notice, it says more. My last name.
I love it.
And then you also get some magnets to put on your refrigerator.
Oh, man.
So if you order through me, you get these goodies. And then, like I said, you also get an autographed copy from me. So it'll have all of that. So when you get it from Amazon, it's not autographed.
Right.
So it's only autographed through me. But like I said, I do free shipping. And like I said, I'm doing a bundle deal right now. So if you want to order something, or if you have a coworker or your mom, your dad, let's get some of these men to read.
There you go.
I actually have a few guys that actually have read my work and they love it.
All right.
So, if it's something, guys, if you have a wife, a girlfriend, your grandma likes to read, definitely pick it up. Like I said, you can't read part 1, part 2 without part 1.
That's right.
It is a series. So I do like to let people know that I appreciate the support for both. But if you read part 2, you're going to be confused.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Make sure that you get both of them. And if you want to start with part 1, that's fine. But like I said, I do free shipping. And like I said, it'll come with an autograph. It'll come with beautiful bookmarks. And I thought about you all when I did the lamination.
Okay.
So that way, how we get a bookmark and coffee may spill or juice or water, and then it's ruined. So
that's right.
This was something that I did specifically for my readers, just to say, hey, this is a keepsake for you. And then, like I said, the magnets, you'll have the magnet as well. It's beautiful. It has the the second book on it.
Okay.
So I got these done for that. I'll have a few more book signings coming up. I haven't done my book release party yet, but I'm still working on it. But yeah, so I'll have some more things to come. I have some things that I'm trying to get settled. So once I finalize, I'll, keep you all posted. But thank you so much for people who have supported me. Thank you for the support that's about to come from doing this broadcast. And I'm truly excited, and I can't wait to hear from you all. Somebody says she is funny.
Oh, there he said, I'll keep saying and the magnet. All right. Yeah. That's my friend Will.
Okay,
Will, make sure you order that book.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Tanika, that was such a great dismount there. Here's what I want to do. Noodles won, but I also want to send the book series to my mom. So how would we contact you? You said you do free shipping. Tell us the cost and what's all involved there, because like I said, I'm going to get one for Noodles. He won it on Amazon, but I know my mom, she think every time I do these interviews, she gets a book. But I'm going to go ahead and get her book series and have you send it to her, so I won't even have to worry about it. So tell us what to do there.
Okay. So basically with part 1 and part 2, I'm doing it where it's going to be 2 for $35. But
okay, that's not bad.
That covers the shipping. Like I said, you'll get the magnets, you'll get the bookmarks, and literally, if you put the order in today, I will ship it out tomorrow.
Now, well, there's the question. How do they get the funds to you?
So I have several ways that you can pay.
Okay.
So I have Apple Pay if you have an iPhone. I have Cash App. I have Venmo. I have Zelle. So these are all the things that I have. Like I said, if you go on 4i Beauty on Instagram, if you go on Tanika Moore on Facebook, you can just message me.
Okay.
And we can go from there. But like I said, if you order anything tonight or as soon as you order, I literally ship out. I had someone who just ordered from Michigan yesterday.
So I'm changing my things here. Noodles, Noodles, send me your email address, and I'm gonna have Tanya give you an autograph one. So you got 2 orders tonight. And I know my friend Will's gonna order, right, Will? He's on Facebook, so that's how you saw that comment.
Yes, I'm excited. Yeah, so if you order tonight, like I said, anytime you order, I always ship out. If not that same day, the next day. So it'll go out immediately, so they'll have it by next week, most definitely. So again, 4i Beauty on Instagram. And then I actually also have a page called Vanilla Setbacks on Instagram. So I check that as well. And then if you go to Tanika Moore on Facebook. So you can definitely message me. We can do the payment and I can get those books shipped out.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to definitely send when I got my mom's, I'll shoot that to you. I'll probably do Cash App. I like Cash App.
Okay.
So, Tanika, this has been great.
Yes.
You got a couple of sales. You squeezed me tonight. So, but you did such a great presentation. Once again, I'm just going to let you say bye to everybody, and we're going to go ahead and close out today. I thank everybody on Amazon for following. Make sure you hit the follow button on Amazon, and I thank you for those that joined on Facebook as well. We will be replaying this video on LinkedIn and on our YouTube page at a later date as well. I'm just going to give you one last time to say goodbye. There you go.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to me. Like, thank you so much. I can't wait to get all these orders, these floods of orders, these messages.
Yes.
I'm putting it into the atmosphere.
There you go.
Well, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. This has been great.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you doing it. And like I say, we're going to push this out there. We want you to get a lot of orders, and we look forward to having you back when your next book is released. Make sure you remember Computer Pile Author interviews. Well, I'm going to go. We're going to go and stay in the back room for 1 second. I'm going to kick this off, and then we are going to have a quick chat. Here we go.
Okay.